that model is critical to utilize. So begin speaking to either not using that or the power of using that, and really seeing competition from a different level.
Hello just partnered up with NetStreet Gamers, and what they're trying to do is set up like esports gaming pods within Five Below stores, which kind of puts them in competition with GameStop, because GameStop's trying to do the same thing. So they're fighting for teens' attention and just traffic into the stores with those teens, and which kind of puts them, in, like I said, in direct competition with GameStop, even though they're not really in the same sector of retail.
For a company like Callaway is the ease of entry into the market. The golf market is not an extremely easy market to get into. It takes a ton of resources. It takes an extremely large amount of money and research and development to get into the industry.
As a model, like for my company, I did Dropbox and I compared them to Box. So they're relatively the same company, just with their products and services. So like Dropbox is mainly file storage and presentation equipment. So for them, like Box just lets you upload and save and that's it. So you can see like with the degree of rivalry, like you can benchmark your company compared to your competitors and see where you stand and how you could improve or dominate or buy out your rival.
Key to know your competitors, both on startup of the company as well as continuously keeping up to date with your competitors. So as you said, EA is a digital entertainment, video games, movies, entertainment, product development, and software. Well, in recent news, Disney Plus took a big hit on them because they're pretty much direct competitors now that they offer their own form of digital entertainment. It's key for you as a company to keep up to date on your competitors. That way you know what's coming out, what's going to hit the market, and at the same time you need to have policies and strategies in place to prepare for those unexpected competitors that arise. So, and that's really big in the video game industry because you have all these sideway companies that basically copy games and pirate games, and there's so many unknown factors when it comes to this industry that you need to be prepared for those scenarios.
The company I analyzed was Sherwin-Williams, and they're kind of in a couple different industries. They're kind of with construction, and then they're also in like the chemical industry. So being in like the chemical industry, they got to see how easy it is to get all their binding agents and things of that nature to produce their patent, how long they'll be able to have it and make it. So they got to, and then they got to see how many people are joining the industry. So if people are going to take away their agents and take away their products and raw materials. And then the construction industry, they got to see how many construction companies are going to come in and buy their products and use them for building materials and then paint on finishing of houses and things like that.
A substitute good becomes critical with the competition.
The threat of substitutes is typically high because the product that they're offering to the public is communications, and it's through a video software, and it's things that you can do with your own device, such as an iPhone. Majority of people, I would say in the classroom, have an iPhone, so you can actually like call them up on an iPhone and kind of talk to them. So that takes away from having interest in trying to use that.
Then Sherwin-Williams, they kind of got to know what trends are in, because a lot of people quit painting the outside of their house and people moved to siding. So siding took away a lot of paint from homes, and then on the inside of the house, trends like wallpaper became huge, and then so they lost a lot of paint there, and then now it's like a lot of wood finishings are starting to happen in homes, so they're losing paint in that way.
I want to transition and include this component of a full pest analysis. So pest is the political, the social, the economic, and the technological issues.
Like in market issues, the problem is back home in Africa, like in Congo, they can close your markets whether you like it or not. It's not your choice, it's a government's choice. Even though you have to pay them money, but if you don't like you pay them once or twice, they close your store, like they shut it down. Even if you beg them. I know they don't like pay a lot of bills like they do here in America because the culture is different. Back home we don't use like in a big city they use stuff like they use here in America, but like in a village they don't. So anytime they can come and take your stuff away, and you don't have a voice to talk or speak to get that stuff. And the other thing is like technology is different. So the technology back home is not that stronger than here. So that's the other thing. Like you won't know when they're coming, or like they won't text you or call you or anything. They just show up to your shop and just shut it out. That's how it's different from back home and here.
Say socially, after analyzing Chipotle, I did the research and there were a lot of like 2 or 3 different food scares. So it's the way the public perceives your product, and then the way the government also has to step in. So when dealing with the restaurant sector, you start to realize that when you have an issue with food safety, that they're going to start setting regulations and certain laws that are going to help try to contain some of that. So that's also going to affect how much business you do and where you have to start sourcing products.
Another aspect of social is cultural differences, especially when you look at different countries and how a company can globalize and expand into those countries. So for example, KFC had a big campaign to expand their market into the Asia theater. So when they entered China, they expected their sales to be the highest that they've ever seen, because chicken is the primary meat in the Asian culture diet. The reason I know about KFC is I actually lived in China for 5 years. And while I was over there, I saw many companies try and enter the market and expand. Some failed and some did not. And that's because they identified the cultural differences within the company. So when you look at McDonald's, you have different menu items for different countries. China has cups of corn, whereas in America, you'd never see that. And they have a more chicken-based diet rather than the beef burger-based diet we have here. So when you look at KFC, when they entered the market, they expected it to be booming and them to take success right away. Well, it was actually their worst quarter ever recorded, and that was because of their motto, finger licking good. Well, in the Asian culture, it's not acceptable in China to eat with your fingers. Like, that's why they use chopsticks. It's considered disrespectful to eat with your fingers. So no one actually went to the restaurants because of that motto. As soon as they changed it back to good, keep it simple and to the point, they recorded their highest sales ever recorded, and since then have been one of the most dominant fast food markets in China.